Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, all on Tangy. Today is Tuesday, November 26th. I'm Crystal Sy.
And I'm Molly, and you're watching Tangy Today.
The DACC sophomore field trip is today. If you're planning on participating, please report to the lobby area by the attendance office after second period. Please bring your coats, however, you can leave your backpacks at school. Lunch will be provided and we'll have you back around 2 p.m. Can't wait to see you there.
And now over to a special edition of OSN.
Welcome back to OSN, your home for all of Tangy Braves athletics.
Except today, it's your home for Buckeye football.
That's right. I got Max Williams to my left. Max, how are we doing today?
Doing good, Bennett.
And I got Jacob Ryder to my right. Jacob, how you doing?
Just great.
All right, guys. The Ohio State Buckeyes travel to Ann Arbor, Michigan on Saturday to play the Michigan Wolverines in their regular season finale. The game will be the 116th meeting between the rivals and will be the first matchup for Ryan Day as Ohio State head coach. The Buckeyes have had quite the 2019 season, getting off to a great start this year, winning all 3 non-conference games by a total of 163-26, including a 76-5 rout against the University of Miami of Ohio. They then carry the momentum into conference play with 4 different 50-plus outings this year. All right, Jacob, so let's talk about the team. At quarterback is redshirt sophomore Justin Fields. He was originally a Penn State commit out of high school before deciding to go to Georgia for his freshman season. He then transferred to Ohio State this past offseason. We knew he had talent, but weren't sure what we were going to get from somebody who hadn't even started a college football game. But he's been great, posting 31 touchdowns to just 1 interception through the Rutgers game. He's also added 10 touchdowns and 377 yards on the ground this year. Jacob, it'll be Fields' first game against the Wolverines. What do you see out of him Saturday?
Well, you know, Fields is torn apart defense after defense, and I expect nothing less this Saturday. Michigan's defense has looked all right this season, but with Fields competing for the Heisman Trophy, I see big things coming. He tore apart the supposed #1 defense in the country in Wisconsin, as well as having a great performance on the road against Nebraska. I think he should have no problems in his first game against the Wolverines.
Okay, Max, over to Michigan. The Wolverines have been led by senior quarterback Shea Patterson this year. He transferred in from Ole Miss after the 2017 season and has played in Ann Arbor the past 2 seasons. He's had a solid 2019 campaign, throwing for 16 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions through the Michigan State game a couple of weeks ago. He's not an extremely mobile quarterback, only running for 81 yards so far this season, so expect him to stay in the pocket throughout the game. He has OSU Michigan experience, playing in the 62-39 loss to the Buckeyes in Columbus last year. What do you expect out of him Saturday?
Bennett, I expect Shea Patterson to have a huge game in the Big House. I predict he'll throw for 200 yards against a tough Ohio State defense led by Chase Young, with 2 touchdown passes, 6'4" receiver Nico Collins and 6'2" receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones. Also, keep an eye on running back Zach Charbonnet from Camarillo, California, as he's a quick, shifty back in the open field.
Okay, Jacob, back to you. The Bucs have been very successful running the ball this year, led by Houston, Texas native J.K. Dobbins and redshirt freshman Master Teague out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, the home of the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders. Both running backs have had solid years, with Dobbins' highest yard total, 193 on the road at Indiana, and Teague's 111 at home against Maryland. How do they perform in the Big House Saturday?
Well, you know, both Dobbins and Teague have looked extremely impressive this season, with Dobbins rushing for over 1,000 yards. You could see some 2-back formations for the Buckeyes on Saturday, which could be extremely dangerous with those 2 featured at the same time.
Okay, Max, on the defensive side of the ball, the Buckeyes have been led by senior Jordan Fuller, junior Jeff Okudah, and senior Malik Harrison. The Buckeyes suffered a setback with the loss of junior defensive end Chase Young prior to the Week 11 73-14 win over Maryland. He was ruled ineligible by the NCAA after accepting a loan prior to the 2018 season. His absence, though, hasn't kept the Buckeyes from winning, with the Bucs boasting big wins over Maryland and Rutgers before his return against Penn State last week. What can we expect out of the Buckeye defense?
Bennett, even though I expect Michigan to come up fast start on senior day, they'll still be tested against the #1 team in defense efficiency, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Again, with Chase Young coming back, I expect them to create havoc for Michigan offensive tackles John Rohan and sophomore Jalen Mayfield. I expect Young to have 4 tackles for loss and 2 sacks against Michigan. Also, keep an eye on Ohio State's secondary, who has held only 126 yards up to the Rutgers game to their opponents. Finally, I think the Buckeyes defense will force 2 turnovers on Shea Patterson, with Jeff Okudah and Jordan Fuller making big plays.
Okay, and finally, Jacob, the Wolverines have played well defensively this year, allowing no opponent through the Michigan State game over 25 points. They have been led by seniors Kalik Hudson and Jordan Glasgow, who have totaled 82 and 71 tackles apiece. Jacob, what will the Michigan defense need to do to try to slow down this red-hot Buckeye offense?
Well, firstly and most obviously, they need to slow down Justin Fields, who, as I mentioned earlier, is a Heisman candidate and has not been slowed down by anybody up to this point. And however, it's not only Fields who they need to worry about. J.K. Dobbins, Master Teague, Garrett Wilson, they're all threats, and They need big games from junior defensive end Quiddy Page and senior linebacker Josh Uche in order to get the dub.
Okay, guys, score predictions for Saturday's game. Max?
Bennett, I'm going to say Ohio State wins 35-17.
Okay, Jacob?
I'm saying Ohio State 59-0.
All right, I got the Buckeyes as well, 35-24. We'll see if the Buckeyes can finish off a perfect regular season and carry the momentum into the Big Ten championship game in a couple weeks. Ohio State and Michigan will kick off on Saturday from the Big House at noon. TV coverage will be provided by Fox.
And now back to the studio.
Have a great Thanksgiving break, Ole and Tangy, and we'll see you back here next week.